I'm Sarah Kolis. Welcome to the Dressing Up podcast, where we talk about all things bridal dresses and general dressing up topics. I love to encourage women to dress up while expressing their personal style with confidence on how to do so. Visit sarahkolis.com to book a bridal alterations fitting, or even inquire about designing the custom couture bridal gown of your dreams. I am so excited to talk to you about this next topic. Let's get started. Hello, listeners. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We are on location here at Becker's Bridal in Fowler, Michigan. I am sitting side by side with Cayla here, and she is going to be teaching us all about the magic of dress shopping with Becker's Bridal. So thank you for being here today, Cayla. How are you doing?
I am fantastic. And I just want to say thank you so much for coming here. I know it's a little bit of a hike to get here to small town Fowler, but we're really excited to have you here and to share some really insightful knowledge to all of our beautiful brides to be.
Yes, so exciting. So first question to you, Cayla, is what is maybe a favorite item of yours in the store right now for sale? Like a dress, an accessory? Do you have something that comes to mind?
Okay, so I put together all of these beautiful dresses behind us here, and we recently got this dress in. This is a Elizabeth Lee bridal gown. I had to put it on. I saw it on a press rack in the back, and I was like, okay, this one, it's going on. So right now, this one is probably my favorite item in the store. It's a beautiful sparkle dot A-line gown with a really nice sheer cutout in the front plunge and on the sides. It's a strapless dress. It's honestly so beautiful. I had to try it on. So that would probably be my favorite in the store right now.
That is very much a wow dress. Like that is a show-stopping one. So how fun it is that you get to try on dresses all the time too.
I know I feel very lucky to work here, to work in an environment that we get to make dreams come true. And I know that sounds a little cliche, but we get to make people happy cry. Yeah. We get to find a dress for them that they feel really beautiful and confident in. And of course, we get to, dress up in fun dresses. So it's really a win-win for us.
The perks of working here.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
So would I be correct in saying, I think this is safe to say that Becker's very well might be the largest bridal shop in Michigan. You have brides coming from all over with a variety of styles in mind, price points, sizing. It seems as though any bride walking through your store can find their dream dress here just with the sheer amount of volume you have here. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have anywhere between 2,500 and 3,000 dresses in our collection at any given point, which means we have a dress for everybody here. We have 30 different designers. So you see an array of styles, silhouettes, fabrics, detachable pieces, all sorts of things.
I do have one question leading on that from Instagram that someone posted about wanting to know, having all the inventory that you do, how do you ensure that the bride sees all of her options and finds the one when you just have so many?
That's a really good question. And sometimes we'll have brides looking through the racks because that is one thing that maybe differentiates us is that you're paired up with the stylist and they'll help you through the racks. We'll guide you to the size range that's going to fit pretty well during the appointment. But once we get started dressing, you're in the dressing room, we try on a few. Your stylist will be able to go back and pull similar styles, or if they have something that they think would look really good on you based on what you're liking, what you're disliking, your stylist will be able to go locate that for you. We have a much better idea of where these dresses are, or, for instance, if we have a certain style, but we have it in a different color and we know it's in, for example, a size 12 instead of the 8, we can go locate that a lot easier than a bride would be. But I think it is good that the brides are able to look through the racks on their own to see what they're gravitating towards. They're able to touch and feel these dresses. Some boutiques have everything bagged up, which I totally understand. Yeah. But brides are able to look through one by one, see what calls their name, and then try them on from there.
Gosh, absolutely. And I think a big thing on that I hear all the time is to be very open-minded when you come dress shopping. I can't tell you how many times I have a bride in for alterations with like a big poofy ball gown, and they said that they came into the store looking for a very slim mermaid style. So it seems as though people often come in and find the opposite of what they were originally thinking they wanted.
We hear that all the time. Yeah. Honestly, it happens more often than not. that a bride is coming in with maybe some inspiration photos or a general idea of what they're looking for, and they try on something completely different, and then they get that wow factor, or they get that, holy cow, like this feels like me. I feel like a bride. And so really just coming in with the open mind that you don't know what a wedding dress feels like typically. You don't know how that will feel until you get it on. And so going in with an open mind just allows for the possibility that you'll be able to find the dream dress that actually really suits you.
So, Becker's, when did Becker's Bridal first open?
So yes, Becker's has a very long and rich history. I think that's one thing that really sets Becker's apart is the history. So our first wedding dress we sold was back in 1934. It's actually on display. It's the first thing that you see upon entering the shop. And it actually is a really, really gorgeous, timeless design. One of our beloved coworkers, Kim, this is actually her grandmother's dress. So she graciously allowed us to display it here in the store. But that was back in 1934. Prior to selling the dress, it was completely, and it has been since the 30s, family owned and operated. Before that, it was just a general store, just a general corner store selling dry goods. Before that, it was a bank, and we're still in the original storefront here. So, since the 30s, it's come a long way where we now have the inventory of about 3,000 dresses. And we've got 3 storefronts wide of dressing rooms, dresses. We recently just opened within the last couple of years our Phoenix Bridal Celebratory Lounge, which is upstairs. It's a full service cafe and bar. So brides, when they're coming from all over the state to shop here, they can find their dress, of course, and then go upstairs and continue the celebration up there.
I love that. Amazing. So you can get like drinks and lunch maybe or something.
Oh yeah. We have a full menu, soup, salad, charcuterie, desserts, cocktails, mocktails. We pretty much have a little bit of everything up there. Yeah. And it's really nice that the brides can continue it because it is such a big moment for the wedding planning and the whole just engagement process.
Yeah. And on top of being with like your sisters, your mom, friends, whoever it might be, and you came all this way, you probably are hungry.
Absolutely.
Anyway. So enjoying that moment up there, and it looks adorable up there. I love that.
It's absolutely
so cool.
Stunning.
Such a unique experience.
Yeah. And you're right. Trying on dresses is hard work. And physically you're putting dresses on and off.
They're heavy.
Yeah. It's also emotional work. You're really trying to tap into the emotions of the day, of course, and being with your loved ones.
Yeah.
But also what buying a wedding dress means. And that's what we really try to hone in on here is, like this is your wedding dress, but it's your marriage dress. Like this signifies a big moment in your life. And we want it to feel special. And we want you to be able to celebrate that and continue the celebration upstairs.
Yeah.
And of course, have some good cheesecake while you're at it too.
Yes, absolutely. It is a very important purchase in your life. Wearing this dress on very much probably the most important day of your entire life. And I know I don't take that lightly when I work with my alterations clients, and I'm sure you at Becker's don't either. I mean, that is just such a special thing to be able to contribute to someone's wedding day.
Absolutely.
So speaking on that, coming from far away. So if you're not in Michigan, here in Fowler, it's kind of like the center of the state. It's a little bit further away from the larger cities of Michigan. So you are kind of driving a little bit of a hike out here. So it seems as though it's not typically the type of shop that you want to come to just for fun, just for dress shopping. So is there any sense of wanting to be prepared to buy when you come here? Do you think it's a bad idea to just come for the fun of it? Because you very well might find your dream dress here while you're doing that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We have such a large inventory, and we have the Phoenix. We have this grand experience for brides to involve themselves in. So of course we don't want to take that lightly. We want brides to have fun while they're shopping. Mm-hmm. But like you said, we are a hike. On average, brides are coming at least an hour's drive from us, if not closer to 2. We have people from Chicago. We have people from the UP. We have people from New York coming over.
Yeah.
So, we really suggest that you have the intention of falling in love with your dress here. We have so many dresses that how could you not, right? And we've got the experience to back that up. Mm-hmm. We have the years, we have the history, we have just the entire support in this building for you as the bride shopping. So with that being said, I've heard from several brides after the fact, shopping from location to location, it can be emotionally draining, and it can soon turn
confusing. Your friends and family can get exhausted too, I'm
exactly.
sure.
So, everyone's so excited to go dress shopping. I love that. But when you're going from shop to shop, it becomes exhausting, and it doesn't become fun anymore. And so we always like to say, with the inventory here, we have about, it's like going to 3 to 4 boutiques in one.
Yeah.
We have
a lot.
We have a little bit of everything here. And with Becker's being a known name, like a lot of people will suggest going here, which fantastic. About 90% of our brides come as a word of mouth referral. So shout out to everyone who is giving us recommendations. But because of that, brides aren't really aware of what we actually have to offer here as far as the inventory. So I would say come with the intention that you will find your dream dress, because it is most likely here. Yeah, I think that we have a little bit of everything. So
just to keep that moment super special too. And of course, if you want to just come try on dresses and not feel the pressure of it, fine. That is, I'm sure, welcomed, but just be prepared that if you do find the dream dress, to decide ahead of time if you are able to act on that or not, and really complete the experience of dress shopping. So that's awesome. What are your thoughts on, especially post-COVID, who to bring with you to your shopping experience? I personally think, and with alterations as well, less is more. You just get so many opinions that want to be involved, and everyone wants to be heard. So what are your thoughts with the actual dress shopping experience? How many people to bring, or who to bring?
Absolutely. I would definitely echo that. Like you said, bringing the people, the opinion that mean the most to you, the opinions that matter the most to you. If you can limit the amount of people, great. I know a lot of people get excited and they want to involve several people, but like I said, it can become confusing. It can be too many opinions in one space, and then that can make your decision a little bit harder. And, we kind of want to shy away from that. So making it more of the intimate experience, 5 guests or less is what we suggest. We do offer an after hours appointment. We call it our entourage appointment. It's Friday evenings only, to allow up to 10 if you have, a larger family or a larger friend group. But honestly, under 5 is as minimal as you can, just so you can really focus on how you are feeling in the dress and have that emotion and that sentiment come through. Because at the end of the day, what are you going to remember on your wedding day? How you feel in it, how you feel in that wedding dress, and being surrounded by the people that matter the most to you. So surrounding yourself in the appointment by the people that matter most to you is super, super crucial.
Yes. And I'm sure like maybe there's close friends that you have that didn't quite make the cut. And just remember that throughout the whole wedding process, there are so many opportunities to involve more people. And I feel like dress shopping is maybe one of the first things you do. So you feel like you have to involve everybody, but just know that there is plenty of time for that. And also it's great to sometimes even surprise your bridal party with what your dress looks like, having that big reveal on the wedding day. That's super exciting.
Those photos are so fun. I love seeing those photos. Also, something we do recommend too for people, maybe bridesmaids or friends, if you want to bring them for your dress pickup appointment, that's a really good alternative, because at that point you've already made that decision. You get to have a grand reveal. Pressure. Exactly. And of course we have our Phoenix Lounge, so you can make a day out of it. You can get champagne after. Maybe you do your bridesmaid proposal during your pickup appointment, because
that would be cute.
Yeah, it's a way to incorporate maybe the people who aren't going to be at that first appointment, but you still want to involve them in the entire wedding process. So that's a good alternative that we like to suggest.
Yes, that's a great idea. One I haven't thought of before. That's awesome. Okay, so now we're going to get into a big question here.
Sure.
Let's talk about the whole wedding dress shopping experience. So we just got engaged. What do we do next?
Sure. So I might be a little biased because I am very involved in the social media.
Yes.
But I would say, go ahead and find some dress photos online. Start getting some inspiration about what you think you might like. Of course, going into the dress appointment with an open mind is great, but having a starting point, when you're looking at these dresses, oh, I could see myself wearing that. That's good. Like just finding some inspiration. So I'd say that's going to be your first stop.
Start that Pinterest board.
Exactly. And I'm sure we all have a Pinterest board from, 20 something years ago. Maybe do a little updating. But so I'd say gather some inspiration photos. And then I'd say do some research. We get a lot of common questions, as far as wedding dress timeline, when you should be ordering dresses. What does the process look like? For us, we recommend anywhere between, if you can shop around a year before your wedding, great. That gives enough time for any sort of special orders that can take between 5 to 10 months on average. Could very well come sooner, which is great. We love that. But it can take 5 to 10 months. That also accounts for any alterations.
Of course, yes.
So we want to make sure that, we're not down to the wire, because that's just going to add stress. So go ahead and get those appointments booked. We have all sorts of upgrades here too. So getting a table upstairs, that sort of thing. But get your appointment booked around a year before the date, if possible.
And that also accommodates, I think some people are surprised by how quickly the dress came in, but you also want to accommodate for if there's any hiccups on the designer's ends, right?
Absolutely.
So we want to make sure we just have plenty of time to be able to accommodate anything that could come up and make sure that the dress is all ready to go for your wedding day.
Absolutely. And I know when you're starting to shop, you might not understand the whole scope of the wedding dress creation process. It is for the most part, a global supply chain here. So we want to account for any sort of global supply issues, that sort of thing. But on the bright side, we have not missed a wedding since 1934. So
that's incredible.
That's why we give that time frame. And if it comes sooner, fantastic. You get to get your hands on that dress and put it in your closet sooner, which is great. So after that, I would say get your appointment booked and ready. As far as actually going through and booking your date and time, you can do that on our website. You can give us a call.
Do you typically book out a certain amount in advance?
For Saturdays are going to be our busiest.
Okay.
Saturdays and Sundays are our busiest time. I would recommend at least a couple weeks. We have ladies that book out a few months in advance if they're planning around, travel dates, that sort of thing, around the holidays. At least I would say 2, 3, 4 weeks in advance. Weekdays, you can get in a little bit sooner. It is a little quieter in the store too. If you would prefer a more intimate experience, I would recommend during the week.
Yeah.
So diving into the actual appointment. So we'll schedule for an hour and a half, and you'll be linked up with a stylist for the entire appointment. So they're going to guide you through looking through the dresses, making sure we're staying on our price points, any sort of questions that might arise during the appointment. Some common things that we get are, oh, I really like this dress, but I would, really prefer an ivory shade versus a blush tone. Can we do that? Or I really wanted a sleeve. Is this strapless dress gonna look good with a cuffs? Something like that, like small alteration type questions. We hear that all the time throughout the appointment. And then you'll go through, pick out about 5 to 6 dresses just to start. When you're in the room, we don't want to overwhelm you right off the bat.
There's only so much room in the fit room too.
Exactly. Especially if you're going for a ball gown, we can only fit so many in there.
Yeah.
But we'll get you into the dresses. We'll help you as far as, level of comfort. That's totally up to it's up to the bride's discretion, but we'll help in and out of the dresses. We'll get you clipped. So even if a dress may be a little small or a little big, we can get you clipped in a way that you can see how it's going to fit, or at least close.
Yes.
From there, if a bride is really loving a dress, but there is just one thing that needs to be adjusted, or maybe, one element, we can either go back and pull some more dresses for her to try. We can grab some accessories like veils, headpieces. The veils really complete the look, in our opinion. So when we can tell a woman is really loving this dress, adding a veil really completes the picture.
You see the whole vision.
Yes. And of course, you're at Becker, so you have to make a trip into our magic room. It is a famous magic room where several brides say yes to their dress there. And then afterwards, after you find your dress, you get to go upstairs and celebrate in the Phoenix Lounge, which is a lot of fun.
Wow.
So that's kind of what the entire appointment looks like.
Yeah.
And then following that, we'll give you a call when the dress comes in. It can be anywhere from 5 to 10 months or sooner. You'll set up a dress pickup appointment, try it back on. We want to make sure that, size is good, we fit, we look beautiful. Everything is good as far as the dress is concerned there. And then you get to take it home with you.
So that's when I step in, right? So alterations, you will see on this Dressing Up podcast, I do have other podcast episodes all about alterations. So refer to those for sure. But I'll give you a little bit of information here. So I work with brides starting 6 weeks before their wedding date for a first fitting. So I know that's a little closer to the wedding date than maybe some other seamstresses. So just make sure you're doing your research on who you're going to go with and make sure their timeline works. But yes, for me, I start 6 weeks before the wedding date, and then you'll bring your dress in after you book your fitting online at sarahkolis.com. And yeah, bring the dress, bring your exact shoes that you will be wearing, and any fitting issues that can be addressed then. If the top's a little too big, too loose, the hips are a little too big, too loose, length, all those things can be addressed. If you have just general questions on, how a certain area is laying, I can help you with all of those things. And just for some general knowledge, price points, we're looking at, it varies greatly for sure. Some brides come in and they just need a little hem and that's literally it. Some brides come in and the dress needs a lot of work. It's got a lot of lace and beading. So it varies greatly, but I do say that most brides alterations totals start at about $500. And again, it varies greatly, but I will give you all that pricing at the first fitting. And then the payment is not due until the second fitting. So again, more questions can be addressed online at sarahkolis.com, or you can shoot me an email, of course, and feel free to reach out. But yeah, so that's what alterations is looking like. Now, I'm curious though, with brides, you're saying like a year out from buying your wedding dress is great. But what about brides that have a much shorter engagement? Or what if you just like have a really
quick wedding?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, that 12-month mark is really just a suggestion. If you have a wedding that's closer, or if your timeline does not align with that, we do have several options for you. So one being, you could take the dress home. Assuming it fits you pretty good right off the bat, you could take the dress out of our collection the same day. We have a lot to choose from. So assuming it's close for alteration's sake, you're welcome to take the sample. We also have a secondary location, which is called our Becker's Bridal outlet. That's in Lansing, Michigan. And we have about a third of the inventory there, but everything there is just ready to wear. So you get to shop and take it home the same day. We've had brides come in on a Monday where they're getting married on that Saturday and they found a dress, so
things happen.
And we can accommodate most timelines for sure. So 12 months is suggested if you have the time, but we can definitely take care of most timelines for sure.
Awesome. And what other accessories do you have? So when you come to your first dress fitting appointment, my personal opinion is that you should get the veil at the same time, because sometimes the veil might not be available when you come back 6 months later. Finding the veil that matches your dress perfectly, I think it's great if you can buy it at that first fitting. But what about some other accessories too?
For sure. So I would second that. If you're in the mind space I know it can be a little overwhelming on your dress shopping day. You're like, okay, I made one big decision, but if you can wrap your mind around, you can complete the look today. That's a little bit easier because you have the dress in front of you. You have all of these veils and accessories at your disposal to try on during your dress shopping appointment. And your stylists are, they're working with brides every day. So for example, these dresses behind us here, this Lillian West, it has a really fun floral applique on there. This designer, they offer a matching veil, and knowing that you're ready to complete your look that same day, stylists can go and grab that and complete that look for you. It is a little bit harder when your dress is in production to be shopping online to try to find a matching
visualize
lace.
It.
So if you can, definitely try to as complete of a look as you can. We also have a variety of, headpieces, jewelry that can come secondary. That can definitely be shopped for during your dress pickup appointment too. We recently acquired a new company who will offer custom jean jackets and leather jackets.
I love that trend.
Yes.
Oh,
So those
that's
are a lot of
awesome.
fun. We have all sorts of customizable options for that too. And those are just, it's a fun accessory. And, you can wear it at your bridal shower. You can wear it at your bachelorette weekend. There are more opportunities. Yeah. More opportunities.
Get your use out of it.
Yeah, of course. So those are really fun. They're fully customizable. So we have a lot of options for accessories, but yeah, the veils. Yeah, I'm partial to a veil. It's the one thing that really, not the one thing, but a very large thing that signifies this is a bride, because it's one of the only occasions in your life that you will wear a veil is during your wedding. So, while veils might not be for everyone, at least trying it on to confirm that for yourself
while you're here, while you have the dress on, while you have your entourage with you. Yes, absolutely. Awesome. Okay. What about when you come dress shopping? What should a bride wear or bring with her to be prepared?
Yeah. So we already kind of touched on it. A big thing is just the state of mind.
Yes.
You want to bring an open mind and, trust in yourself. That's a big thing. Just trust your intuition. So bring that mentally.
Step one.
But physically. So a lot of questions that we get are about undergarments. So most of the dresses will come with a cup sewn into the bust area. So if you're comfortable with it, I would say go braless, because then you can really get an idea of how the dress is going to lay on you. Some people ask about, Spanx type of items. That's totally up to you. I would suggest not to. Again, you get to feel how the dress is going to lay on you.
Yeah.
And also a lot of dresses will have different areas where it's either the sheer mesh or depending on the fabric, you'll be able to see those undergarments through the dresses. So it is a little bit easier just to go, just a regular undergarment and maybe a nude color, so it's not going to be distracting. And then some people will ask about shoes. And at that point, it is a little early in the process to know what shoes you'll be wearing. So we recommend, if you want to bring a pair of shoes that you might like, we'll pop those on at the end so you can get an idea of walking. But we do have stools for the women to stand on to get an idea of the length, how it'll lay. And without shoes, it's less of a tripping hazard. So we don't want any safety concerns. We like safety in the dressing rooms. It's easier to get on and off. So really, I would say open mind. I would wear neutral, minimal undergarments there. Seamless undergarments are nice. And you don't really have to worry about shoes. Some brides, just depending on their style, prefer to have, like a natural makeup look, just because you want to be able to envision yourself on the day. So I would say your everyday natural makeup look, hair, but whatever you're comfortable with. We have several brides come in for their dress pickup appointment where maybe they did a hair trial or maybe they did a makeup trial that day. Something like that, just so you can see it all together. One issue though with wearing makeup is makeup can rub off too. So we want to try to avoid that as much as possible. But again, we also want you to feel very comfortable and be able to envision yourself on the wedding day too. So
absolutely. And I can build off of that, being an alteration seamstress, getting dresses in, especially that were bought off the rack or whatever it may be. Somebody at some point is going to buy that wedding dress that you were trying on. And all the time I see lots of gunky stuff on the insides of the dresses. So let's all be very respectful of all of these dresses and absolutely wear makeup, but don't be excessive. Like if you can avoid putting any makeup on your neck, I think that would be great. This is like TMI, but clear gel deodorant. The powder deodorants rub on the dresses and I have to work on them. And I you know how it goes, but
we're all women. We understand. Yes.
And also like any particular like oily perfumes and things, like I think just avoid all of that stuff if we can, especially on the chest and neck.
Yes. I think that's definitely good advice and a good way to think about it, because this sample dress might not be the one that you are wearing, but eventually it could be for someone else. So I think that's just a good way to think about it for sure.
Yeah. Not a requirement, but definitely nice to be respectful. So designers, what designers do you have in the store? How many? What's the style?
Sure. So we carry an extensive amount of designers, actually.
Yeah.
So some of the top designers I would say would be Justin Alexander, Allure Bridals, Maggie Sotero. We have the Disney Fairy Tale collection, which is
fun.
very, very beautiful.
This is one of them, right? Yeah. Right.
Yes.
Okay,
so right
cool.
behind us, this is the Aurora, the Sleeping Beauty Platinum, the DP 301, if I'm not mistaken.
Got a good sparkle to it too.
Absolutely. And we are actually one of the only Midwest retailers to offer the entire Disney line.
Wow.
So if you are in the Midwest and you're a Disney gal, you should come see us because we have all of the Disney dresses. And shameless plug here, we are doing a 2023 Disney fashion show, March 11th. So mark your calendars.
Okay,
we'll
fabulous.
We'll have all of the new dresses by Allure. So we're very excited for that.
Wow.
Yeah. So I would say those are probably our top designers. We do have a good selection. I get asked a lot on Instagram about, boho lace. So we have chic nostalgia. Some of these main designers will have more of a boho or earthy line as well. So Lillian West, Wilderly Bride. So we do have some bigger names out there, but lots of designers, lots of styles for sure.
That's great. And with that, what about price points? What would be a healthy price point to come in with? Or do you have some of the higher end luxury dresses? Do you have some of the lower end price points for brides that are on more of a budget?
Yes, absolutely. So the dresses at our flagship location here in Fowler start around $1,000. At that price point, you're going to be seeing more of the simple designs, less beads, less appliques, less lace, that sort of thing, more simple design. I would say a good, maybe an average price point would be between $1,500 to $2,500. I would have to look back at the statistics for this year. I think nationwide average for a bridal gown is somewhere around 1,800.
Okay.
We might need a fact check on that, but I would say a 1,500 to 2,500, you'll find a good selection there. And of course we do go up from there. So we have dresses that range all the way up to $7,000-$8,000 too, if you're looking for more of that couture look or the heavily beaded applique look. So we can really accommodate most price points. Also, with that being said, if you are under that $1,000 price point, we can definitely accommodate you at our outlet location as well. Those prices, whether they are discontinued designer samples, but in still really good condition, maybe they have a slight wear and tear from women trying them on here, the prices at the outlet will reflect that. So dresses there start around $500 and go up. But yeah, so I would say, we can accommodate most price points, and just give us a call if you're kind of unsure of which store to shop at. But I'd say price point is a big factor, and then your timeline. If you've got that sooner wedding date, or if you're just a bride who would prefer to have a dress in hand, not worry about shipping, we can offer taking it out of the collection the same day at both locations.
Oh, that's awesome. So it seems to me like when you're a bride coming dress shopping, you should have a budget in mind before you come, because your stylists here are going to ask for that budget and be respectful of it. And am I correct in that your dresses are kind of aligned in the store by price point? Is that right?
They're actually, our store set up by size.
Okay.
So as we're looking through dresses, in the beginning of the appointment, we'll ask the bride what their price point is, what they would like to stay around. And we really do try to respect that. We know weddings can be quite costly, so we want to respect your price point and be aware of that as we're trying dresses on. It's going to be rare that we will pull a dress that is significantly over that price point
without asking you
exactly
first.
So there are several instances where everyone is looking through the racks, everyone's excited. I have a price point that I know the bride is comfortable with. Someone pulls something that might be $1,000 over. At that point, I'm going to show this to the bride and say, this was picked from your crew.
Okay.
They think that it would look really nice on you. It's totally up to you if you want to try it on or not. We want to make sure that information is put out before we're falling in love with something, we don't want any devastation as far as price point is concerned. So we keep an eye on that. Everything is priced as marked on the dresses. So everyone knows how much the gowns are as we're pulling them. If we have a dress in mind that we know the bride is really going to like, and it might be, $100, $200 over, we'll of course ask them beforehand, this is right around our price point. Is there wiggle room?
Yeah.
And that is a big differentiation too of what would you like to spend and what is your hard stop? Because there might be contributions from your group or your family that you might not be aware of. So if I'm bringing a dress to the room, I say, I really think you're going to like this based on the other elements of the dresses that you've been liking, but it's a couple $100 over. Do you feel comfortable with that? Mom, grandma, they might be like,
just try it on.
Just try it on. Yes, because your family members might be contributing to that and you didn't know that, so we want to be respectful of price points too, but your family members want you to get the dress of your dreams. So there's some wiggle room there.
I love how respectful your staff is with that like having that conversation before we put the dress on. Okay, I want to talk about sleeves for a moment. As an alteration seamstress, I hear this all the time that brides want to add sleeves to their dress. So I personally would prefer if they can buy a sort of sleeve option through you, and then I just sew them on. Of course, I can always do a completely custom sleeve or custom anything. It's just most likely going to cost more than what they could get ready-made in stores with you. So do you have sleeve options for them?
Yes. And I'll definitely say too, the trend of adding a sleeve or making a detachable element, that has been very popular lately. So we do have an inventory to reflect that. So we have, I don't know how many, we have a lot of sleeves. We have a lot of sleeves, a lot of variety, a lot of styles, different shapes of sleeves. We definitely have a lot to choose from. And during the appointment, your stylist will be able to help piece that together for you. So the bride's able to visualize what that is going to look like. Some of our designers too have added personalization options to these dresses. So if you have a style, maybe it's a regular strap. Sometimes the designer will already have 2, 3, 4 different sleeve options.
That would be great.
That are already created with the same lace. So then you don't have to worry about lace, like matching that lace applique, So there's definitely options for that. And I will agree from as far as simplicity's sake, maybe, and cost sake, it will be a little cheaper for the bride to just be able to purchase that already prefabricated sleeve and then have you fitting, right? Mold it to. Yes, absolutely.
Exactly.
Question for you. How often do you see brides wanting to completely sew the sleeve on versus having a detachable element?
I have opinions on that one.
Okay, let's hear it. Let's dive into it.
I do not like detachable sleeves.
Okay.
Because anything on the wedding dress that is detachable means it could also detach at times you don't want it to.
Sure. That is a very good
point.
So
I like sewing them in. If you get a wedding dress that this has been common lately to have a little droop sleeve and it's like got snaps in there, I always recommend skip the snaps. Let's sew it in. Okay. So there's that. However, of course, if you really, really want it, absolutely, I'll do that. And I can do that. Everything always looks better and is more functional when it's sewn in.
All right. That's really good insight. That's really good insight.
Yeah. So.
If brides do want a detachable element, would you prefer the snap or a hook and eye, or are there better ways to make it detachable?
Yeah, it depends on the application. I think in most cases I would do snaps. If it's maybe a droop sleeve, I might do hooks, but I might do hooks and snaps. So
to reinforce it.
Yeah, it depends on, and also with a lot of sleeves too, especially with styles that are in today, they're very sheer. So we have to use the plastic snaps, which aren't quite as strong as the metal ones. So again, if we can
that's really good insight.
That's great. Yeah.
That's great insight for us too, as we're navigating the dress shopping appointment, because letting the brides know on the front end, you could make this detachable, but it might be preferred as far as constructing of the dress and overall experience of wearing the dress to just have it sewn in. So that's really good insight. Okay.
It's quite rare that I can't convince the bride to do that because there's not a whole lot of reason to have it detachable. If you want like 2 different looks of a wedding dress, you either get 2 wedding dresses, or often like a trend I've been seeing a lot lately, which I think is awesome, is the detachable trains.
Absolutely.
You have some of those here, right?
Yes, we have more recently too. We get a lot of questions about detachable trains, that sort of thing. We have a whole section in store too just detachable elements. So we can
Yeah.
add those as people are trying dresses on. Sometimes it confirms that they really do want that second look. Sometimes it's like, well, I actually really like the dress as is. I don't want to cover this up. So we definitely have options for that.
Great. So I've got some FAQs from people. Do you have anything else you want to mention before we jump into these?
Yeah. So a couple other questions that we will get are about the other women in the life outside of the bride. So mother of the bride and groom, bridesmaids, that sort of stuff. So we focus primarily on bridal gowns. So we do not offer any sort of bridesmaids gowns. We do have an inventory of mother of the bride and groom formal gowns though, which are at our outlet location.
Okay. Fabulous.
We used to have a separate mother studio actually across the street here in Fowler, but we lost it to a fire. So we have rehoused all of our mother's inventory to our outlet.
Okay.
Everything is by appointment at both locations. The nice thing about the mothers shopping, first you get a little discount if the bride shopped at Becker's.
Oh, cool.
So the mothers of the brides get mothers, grandmothers, aunts, whoever wants to shop together, they can, which is kind of nice. You get to shop with people in the wedding party. You're not doing it by yourself. Of course, you'll have your stylist.
That's fun.
But you can color coordinate and it makes it a little more fun for the mom shopping too. So you can always give us a call at the outlet to schedule those appointments and you get a little discount for those. So
that's so fun.
So I actually do have some questions for you if you don't mind. So oftentimes in the store, we have questions from brides all the time about what can and can't be done in alterations. And my default is alterations, they're like magicians. They can make anything happen, right?
Yes, I just wave the magic wand.
Wave the magic
boppity boo.
Exactly. I'm sure there are some things that cannot be done, but what's a good realm of expectations for the bride going in?
Yes.
I guess what I'm thinking specifically. So we like to say when as far as sizing is concerned, common things like it's a little easier to take in versus taking out, that sort of thing. Is there a general guideline as we're thinking about trying dresses on in sizes and then how it relates to what can or cannot be done in alterations?
Yes. So with alterations, I always say, if it's physically possible to be done, I can do it. Sizing, I want to do a whole podcast episode on sizing. So tune into that if you have questions on it. But I will say, yes, in general, if you have to choose between a size that's too big or a size that's too small, always go with the one that's too big. However, of course, as women, we're all shaped so differently. So bust, waist, hips can be all different proportions. And sometimes it makes more sense to go with the smaller size and let out in a certain area. So say, for example, you have a dress that has a very plain bottom half and it needs let out, and then the top is all beaded with lace. It would be smarter to get the size that accommodates your top, because it's going to be less work for me to alter the skirt that's all plain as opposed to the top that's all heavily beaded. So there is a lot of science that goes into choosing the sizing. But of course, even when the dress fits you almost perfectly, it usually always still needs tweaks. So just making sure that it fits absolutely perfectly. Now, there are some concerns that people come to me with where they say, the top feels too big. And I look at it and yes, we can take the dress and yes, it will still zip. But if we do that, this negative thing will happen. So there's a decision to be made. It's like, if we do this, then pros and cons of everything.
For sure.
So that's often a common one, like say with a strapless dress, like it feels like it might be a little loose. Well, as long as it's tight on your waist, it's not going to fall down. And sometimes if we go too tight right at the top of that neckline, then you start bulging up near your
no one
underarm.
Likes that. No one
Exactly.
Likes that.
So there's things that can be done, but should we? So, and I'll have all those conversations with you in person. So just trust the process. And again, if something comes in the dress is like a little too tight, just stay calm, trust the process. Again, it's probably going to be less expensive to let out a small area than to take in the whole dress. So keep that in mind. And of course, if you're trying the dress and it feels tight, but it zips, you are fine. Okay.
Perfect.
We can all stay calm.
And just kind of on that topic too, generally speaking, we let brides know that the most common alterations and what you can likely expect going into a fitting are going to be straps if they're long.
Yes.
A bust adjustment, and then a hem.
Yes.
Those are top 3 most likely. Everyone's proportions are different. Heights are different.
Yes.
Also bustles.
Yes.
So could you talk a little bit about the different types of bustles that you see often and how you recommend one bustle versus a different type of bustle?
Absolutely. So I think that there are some bustles that are more sturdy than others. So when I'm helping a bride choose on a bustle type, I tend to always ask them, how much will you be dancing? And then some girls are like, oh, I'm going to be on that dance floor all night. Where some of them are like, I'll probably be talking a lot with people.
Sure.
So that does change what I might do with your bustle. But the different bustle types would be, we have the over bustle, also known as the American bustle. I've been hearing people call it the traditional bustle. So that's the bustle where it just gets picked up and over. And that one's great, very functional. It works with a high majority of the dresses. We have the ballroom bustle. That's great for ballroom style dresses, but also some slimmer dresses work for that too. Everything gets scooped up and under the dress. So you have like a little bubble on the bottom. That one has pros and cons. It looks great though. The French bustle is kind of somewhere in between, where you have this tucked up look in the middle of the train where everything's hidden on the inside of the dress, but you still get to keep that. Maybe you have some lace or something on the bottom there. The most popular is certainly the over bustle, and that one would definitely be the most sturdy and functional. And also with the bustles that I do, we really try to get them picked up and off the ground so no one's stepping on it. There's a whole science that goes into it. But again, I will work with you at your alterations fitting appointment to decide what the best bustle is for you and your dress.
Perfect. Perfect. I feel like everything is so specific to the type of dress too, like different fabrics, different shapes, of course. And then, like you said, the functionality of it is huge. So I like that you kind of, you know, get a sense of the bride's personality and alter the alterations for her.
It's not just cut and dry. Like I want to get, just like you do with choosing the dresses for the brides, I like to get to know the brides a little bit to know what kind of alterations would accommodate them and their personality and the type of wedding, the time of year, everything. There's a lot that goes into it. Yeah.
Perfect. So I know that you do some couture gowns yourself, which is incredible.
Yeah.
Where do you find the inspiration for that type of design?
Ooh,
I know this is kind of veering off topic a little, but I'm just curious because there's an art to it. There's art to it.
Of course. Yes, absolutely. And it truly comes down to the bride. Like things I was just saying, just about, well, first of all, I think the type of wedding and the venue is like huge. So that's great inspiration as a starting point. But for me personally, like as an artist, when I'm designing these gowns, I get truly inspired by fabrics. I like to look at fabrics and think of the dress and kind of work backwards in that way. Because I find that sometimes I get really stuck if I'm like really set on a certain design and then I can't find the fabric that I'm thinking of. But yeah, it comes with so many things. And again, how much will the bride be dancing on the dance floor? How much will she be walking on grass versus a tile floor? All things like that. But I personally love ball gown styles. That's what I wore for my wedding. That's what I love making and designing. And I think that they're just super fun because it's not something you can, I mean, you could, but you typically don't wear again in your life. So bigger is better for me.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that was a fun question. Thanks.
And you designed your own wedding dress.
I did.
Which is incredible.
Thank you. Yes,
how did you do that? Were you, did you just know from age 5 or?
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Did I know what style? No. But yeah, I mean, we all say this, right? Every little girl dreams of their wedding dress. Well, I dreamed of making my wedding dress, not only wearing it, but yeah, I started sewing very, very young. So I knew quite quickly that I would be someday making my wedding dress. It truly was a dream come true to be able to do that. And there was a lot involved in that. I have no regrets because I went all out. It was a lot. I did all this beading on it, but it was so much fun to wear, so gorgeous, and such a great experience for me at that moment being a bride and knowing what my brides are going through. But yeah, that was such a fun project.
Yeah, so it's great insight that you're now working with brides, but also how memorable is that for you? You get to when you're thinking about your wedding day, it's not just the wedding day, it's the entire experience, creating the gown. Like that's very special.
The wedding planning became very easy because I didn't stress about that. I was stressing about
the dress,
my sewing. Yes. And I tried that thing on so many times, and it was a lot, but
well, hey, it worked out well, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Perfect.
Yep,
and it's beautiful. I've seen photos. You look gorgeous.
Thank you.
You did a great job.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So when brides go to book an appointment with you, do they go right to the website?
You can find the appointment link through a few different avenues. Okay. Of course, you can give us a call and we can look at our calendar there to find the best time. I always recommend looking at our online scheduler just because, you can talk with your bridesmaids, your mom, whoever is coming with you to, find the best time. But right on our website, super easy to find there. And on that main page, it's going to guide you through which location to go to based on some of the things we talked about, like price point and timeline and just overall experience. One thing to know about when you're going to book, our Phoenix lounge is only available at our Fowler location here.
Okay, yeah.
So that is one question I get, is the Phoenix at the outlet too? It is just at our main store here.
Okay.
So if you're anticipating you want that full day experience, I would definitely recommend coming to the flagship.
Okay, awesome. I got this one from Instagram. Are there any famous people who have said yes to the dress here, and who are they?
A little bit on the more famous side here. Me personally, I would have to see if any celebrities have come here. But one cool thing to know. So we had a New York Times bestseller written about our magic room here. It is called the Magic Room. That's pretty neat. It's a really lovely story about the love that parents have and wish upon their daughters and their children as they're going through life. So in the story, it talks about a few different brides' journeys, their overall life, and it also weaves in a lot of the history of the store too. So that's called The Magic Room by Jeffrey Zaslow. We're really proud of that, and that's really special for us.
That is really cool.
Yeah, and kind of like one step further with that. So a woman, I believe she was in Brazil, read The Magic Room, and she had to come. So she traveled from Brazil with her boyfriend at the time, and he proposed in the Magic Room.
Shut up.
So, I know, I'm just like, something that was really special.
Oh, so cool.
We have brides that travel far and wide to come here for the Becker's experience. So overall, I think that's a huge thing. But yeah, from Brazil. So yeah, we're really honored that Jeffrey Zaslow wrote this book about the Becker's experience and family.
So cool. Do you have any cleaning or preserving recommendations, or do you do that here at the store?
Yes. So as far as storing the dress leading up to the wedding date, we definitely recommend keeping it in the garment bag. In a dark closet is perfect just for storing up to the wedding date. Things like pet hair or moisture or direct sunlight, that's not going to be great. And then following the wedding, we recommend, it's called the Wedding Gown Preservation Company. They're one of the oldest trusted cleaning and preserving companies worldwide. So they're located in New York. But what we can do, we offer our preservation kits. So it's just a pre-postaged box, essentially, that you, after the wedding, will put your dress in, send it out. They'll professionally clean and preserve and send it back to you looking in tip-top shape. So we do offer that. We just don't offer it in stores.
We touched on this a little bit already, but how do you keep up with trends for brides?
Yes. So our owner, Shelly, and her daughter, Alyssa, they are in the store almost every day. They're interacting with the brides. They're hearing from the brides what they want to try on, what they are looking for, what their photos look like. So I really think that personalized one-on-one interaction of our owners, that's pretty uncommon, right? So they're in here every day. They're working with brides one-on-one. So they get to see what brides really want.
Yeah.
Of course, they're going to the designers' fashion shows and runways and looking up, all of their lookbooks. They're very inundated with wedding dress and wedding dress trends. Then, of course, I'm sure people have heard this, trends cycle. So, every, 20 years or so, whatever that rule of thumb is. So trend cycle. And something just kind of funny that we hear too. So we're talking a lot about a sleeve option, right? So oftentimes I hear from women, maybe a mom or an aunt who are shopping with the brides, and they're like, wow, my wedding dress back in the 80s or 90s had this big giant puff sleeve, and look at it, it's coming back in style. And it's like,
Yeah.
styles
Yeah.
do
They
cycle
cycle.
through.
Yes.
So that is just another aside too. It's kind of nice because say you're someone who's looking for more of like a classic design, something,
Yes.
something like this here, that's never going to go out of style.
Yes.
Because it's simple, elegant, classic.
Yes.
It's never going to go out of style. But I would say for sure, just having the one-on-one interaction with the hundreds of brides that we see a week, we get a good sense of what people are wanting and how to stock the inventory to reflect that. So
yeah, wow, that's great. We already touched on this, but I do, to clarify for our listeners, what is the magic room?
yes. So the magic room is, well, back in the 30s, before that, it used to be a bank vault. So the original storefront was a bank. Wow. It is a cement enclosed bank vault with 360 mirrors. There's a little cathedral lighting source at the top. So when brides enter, they go onto this stool and they can see themselves from all angles with a really beautiful light as if they were walking down the aisle, whether that be in a venue, a church, outside with the sunlight. It feels different in there.
Yeah.
And the reason it's called the magic room is once it was renovated with all of the beautiful lights and the mirrors, the first bride that walked in there, she saw herself, she looked around, she goes, wow, it's magical in here.
Wow.
So that's how it became the magic room. And there's just there's something about all of the women finding their dress and saying yes in there that there really is just a beautiful energy in there. So it is quite magical.
I love that. Do you have any particular opinions on styling for different body shapes?
Yes, mainly find a dress that you feel the most comfortable in. I think that when brides are trying dresses on, just some common things I hear. One bride might say, I don't particularly care for how my arms look. I want to stick with dresses that have long sleeves. They want to cover that up. And then when they're trying dresses on, they realize, okay, so having all of this sleeve, all of this lace is actually bringing attention to that area that they might not feel comfortable with. So keeping that open mind when you're trying dresses on, as far as different silhouettes go, like I said, whatever you're going to feel most comfortable in. Someone might try on a really fitted, sleek dress, and me, I'm like, holy cow, they look beautiful. If you don't feel comfortable, you have to feel comfortable in it. And likewise, just because you're a certain size doesn't mean you're limited to a certain style. I think that's really specific too, because we have dresses here from 2 through 32. We have dresses in all sizes here. So just because you're a certain size does not mean that you're limited to the style. If that's your style, if you feel the best in that style, amazing. And it's our job to help you find that. So I wouldn't say necessarily one body type versus a different body type for a different silhouette. It really just comes down to what you're really comfortable in.
Personal preference and keeping an open mind.
Something else too I kind of find is dresses with, just for example, like for me, I lean in my everyday clothes towards a high neckline. That's what I'm comfortable in. So as I'm trying dresses on, I might gravitate towards a dress with a high neckline. And it kind of translates because that's what you wear most times in your everyday life. So it might translate into your wedding dress too. So that's kind of just an interesting observation. And similarly, if you're not, there are some brides who are just not dress people too in a regular, in everyday life. Like some people are just not super dress people. So they might have that extra challenge of finding a dress that really feels like them because they're already a little bit uncomfortable trying a dress on.
Just not used to
not
putting
used
them
to
on
it
at all.
Right. So there's that element too. So
awesome. Cool. Okay. Well, I am sure you have like a FAQs page on your website, right? That they can always refer back to, or call the store or email?
Yep, there's a lot of information on our website.
Yeah.
A lot actually about the history, the legacy of
Yeah.
Becker. So if you're interested in that, you can definitely read upon that.
Yeah.
All of the different offerings as far as what the flagship offers, what the outlet offers, and what the Phoenix space offers as well. An extensive FAQ. And then, of course, I have to shameless plug, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all of our socials, because I oftentimes will do, FAQs on there, answer questions, do some lives about just, what to expect too. So of course, you see a lot of fun dress pictures on Instagram and TikTok, but it also can be very educational in, what to expect.
It's such a good resource. Of course,
Absolutely.
I follow along, and like I'm always still learning new things. So
Well, good.
I love
But
that.
yeah.
What is the spelling of your Instagram handle?
Yep, it's at Becker's Bridal. So BeckersBridal at Becker's Bridal. You can find us Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Pinterest, everywhere.
And you do all of that, right?
Yes, I do.
Wow.
Of course, with all of the help from our staff here, and then all of the lovely models who volunteer their time to come in and try dresses on. But yes, if you are messaging, it's most likely me. So hi, hello. If you have questions, I would love to answer questions too. I'm always available if, you have questions leading up to the wedding dress appointment, like, prices, or for instance, I post a dress and you're like, I got to have that. How much is it? When's it going to come in? Just shoot me a message and then we can go from there. But
yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Also, one more quick question that just popped into my head. Do you have a lot of non-traditional wedding dresses, like say in a different color?
That's a really good question, and one we've been getting more frequently. So the black wedding dress has been pretty trendy. It really does highlight a unique bride or a bride who might not gravitate towards that ivory bridal color. So right now, I would guess, without actually looking through, I would guess anywhere between 15 to 20 unique black dress samples.
Wow. Okay.
Which is quite large. Some boutiques might have one or two, but if you're the bride who is 100%, I am going to have a black wedding dress, definitely check it out. Check out what we have. We also have, which I really like, the floral prints. So adding some color in that way. So maybe any type of wedding it would be like reasonable for, but maybe like a garden party or just like something outdoors, naturey. A lot of fun trends like that, different florals. We have a big red ball gown right now for the dramatic bride who wants a little bit of extra. And then, of course, we do have dresses that might be in the ivory sample, but we could order in a different shade, like black or, just sand, even like a lot of options there. But a little bit of everything here at Becker's.
Yes. Wow. So cool.
Okay, so this is actually one of our favorite dresses in the store right now, and everyone looks so beautiful in it. So this is the Justin Alexander from their Lillian West division. It's more of their, earthier line. This is the 66212. We have it in store in a few different shades. So I believe this one is going to be in the sand underlay. It has a really, really pretty plunging V neckline with the V mesh cutouts on the side, and then an illusion bodice. One of the nice things about this dress, of course, the silhouette on there is really pretty. It's a nice slim figure fitting dress, but the inside is a jersey lining, which women really like. Yeah. It's comfortable. You can move, you can sit. The train is fairly minimal. And then on the overlay, we have a really pretty earthy applique. Like it is a little bit floral, but kind of resembles a little bit of that, earthy branch feel. So good for any outdoor type of wedding. And then a really subtle clear sequin is placed throughout as well. So it's not too overwhelming for someone who doesn't want a ton of sparkle, but still wants to feel a little bit elevated. A little shimmer in there. Yeah. So really beautiful design here. Like I said, we have it in a few different color options as well. And then it does have that front V neckline, and on the back has a nice plunging deep V as well, which brides really are liking this nice open back here. So great for any sort of outdoor type of event. Any season, I'd say maybe winter might be a little chilly, but you could also add maybe a faux fur jacket or something like that. So I would say this is going to be one of our best selling and most popular, most tried on design right here, but the 66212 from Lillian West.
I love that. And I'm sure some of you are maybe visualizing that in the car right now or wherever you are, but we will be posting this on YouTube so you can check out some of these gorgeous dresses we have sitting here. So fun.
Yes, beautiful. So this dress is
I love this one.
I know, this
so fun.
This one is so fun and whimsical. It is the Chic Nostalgia Juno style. Chic Nostalgia, one of our designers who they of course have a nice boho line, but it's a little bit more of a boho glam compared to a regular boho.
Yeah.
So for this Juno style, really pretty strapless A-line silhouette. We have, it looks like a sparkle dot tulle layer underneath, which kind of shows through on that main tulle layer. It has, it's like a 3D laser cut applique along the entire train.
It's like an embroidery with the fabric bits embroidered on top. I love that.
It's embroidered. It just feels fun to me.
Yeah.
You know, I could picture this being worn on the top of a mountain somewhere, just like running through a field. Like there's just like a fun youthful about it because of course any bride could wear it, but there's just like a fun innocence about this dress. The sheer throughout the bodice, you can see where the boning is placed and it's kind of on the angle. So it's like a subliminal like slimming effect, which is kind of cool. Yeah. And then a really deep V plunge with this mesh on the inside. Along the neckline and throughout the V, you have some like pearl and other gems that lines it. And then also like how fun is this little puff sleeve over here?
I love it. I love it.
Fun little puff sleeve. And, you know, of course you can decide what type of sleeves if you don't care for this one necessarily, but a lot of fun options there. So this is a Juno style and it's very whimsical and fun. And I am very excited to see which bride says yes to this one.
Yes. Oh, so pretty. Oh my goodness. And you have all of your jewelry up here too.
Yes.
Is this a tiara?
Yes. Wow. We have several options for headpieces, tiaras. We have some that you can kind of like weave into a braid, a little bit more flexible. Of course, jewelry sets too. It is kind of nice to have those accessible during your appointment because then you can really visualize, you know, maybe it's not the exact necklace you're going to wear, but you know, you want something simple, a simple drop necklace maybe. And then you can try it on with the dress to kind of piece that whole image together. But lots of headpieces, jewelry, veils. We have fingertip veils, waltz length, chapel length, cathedral length, all sorts of different, you know, lace appliques on those, beadwork, all sorts of stuff there. So lots of accessories to choose from.
Can you pull over some of your gloves over there maybe?
Yeah, of course.
I saw you posting about those and they are so fun.
We also have a whole wall of different belts or sashes too. So for instance, if you have maybe a more simpler design, but you just want a little hint of a sparkle, or maybe something that's just going to emphasize your midline there, we do have a lot of, you know, sparkly belts that you can always add. Yeah. And, you know, you can speak to this too, that you can just sew right onto the dress. That way you're not tying anything on the back. You can just sew that right on.
Absolutely. Yep.
But these are fun. These are fun little bridal gloves. This is a fun trend that's been, you know, popular lately. Maybe coming back into trend are these fun little unique bridal gloves. We have some with the full tulle fingers sewn right in like that, or some that just have open. So that would maybe go to like your wrist area. But there's, you know, a lot of different options of the pearls. Yeah. And this is a fun thing too, because you really can, you can take these off a lot easier than a strap, right?
Yeah,
so, you know,
you
can have these on for your ceremony.
For like your bachelorette party or the rehearsal dinner or the bridal shower.
Absolutely.
Those are so cool.
And these items, you know, we have some veils, but all of these items and all of the custom jackets are available to shop online too.
Oh, perfect.
So this could be, you know, secondary purchase later on closer to the wedding when you're like, oh, I just want like a little bit something extra. You can always shop for these right online and we'll ship those directly to you.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, is there anything else that you want to mention or reiterate, remind our brides? Otherwise, I think we hit on pretty much everything.
No, I think we really did too. And for all of you brides out there listening as well, if you haven't listened to her previous episodes, go back and listen because they are really insightful. They have a lot of good information in there. And, you know, you get an idea of what to expect going into both now the dress shopping appointment, but then in the alterations appointment too. So go follow her, share the podcast. It's all good insight for brides to be. So I really do appreciate you coming all the way out to Fowler.
Gosh, this has been so much fun.
Yes. And you are most definitely welcome back at any point to continue this conversation because we're very honored that you want to work with all of our Becker's brides. So we're very happy that you're here and that we have you as a resource. And of course, as a resource for altering these beautiful dresses because that's the final touch to,
finishing touch.
Finishing touches for these dresses. So
thank you. That. Yes, of course. So Cayla, do you have any upcoming events coming up that brides should be aware of?
Yes. So we do have a few upcoming events. The term trunk show might not be something that brides are familiar with. So we do have a few trunk shows. What that entails is usually what happens, designers will give a preview collection and it will rotate through the country to different retailers. So historically speaking, they used to be in trunks that were carried to each location. That's where the name comes from. So what that means for the bride shopping is that you get a first look at maybe, 20 to 40 dresses from a designer that you already love. And these dresses aren't out to stores yet. So you get a first look at these dresses. Oftentimes too, with the special trunk shows, the designer reps will be in the store. And so if you have a specific question on personalization or color options or, anything like that, they're just an extra resource. So it really is a great opportunity. So I know we have a couple trunk show events coming up. So January 13th through February 5th, we have the Sophia Tolley Curvy collection in store, all of their best sellers in the size 20 and up. So that's going to be really fun. And then we also have February 10th through the 12th, we have the Maddie Lane Bridal and Evie Young Bridal Trunk Show. So a bunch of new dresses from them. If you're a Maddie Lane or Evie Young girl, you got to check it out because we'll have a lot of new ones in. And then one of my favorite events throughout the entire year on March 10th through the 12th, we'll be hosting the 2023 Disney Fairy Tale Wedding Collection by Allure Bridals. And we're going to be one of the first retailers in the nation to have these dresses in the stores for brides to try. So on that Saturday evening, March 11th, we are selling tickets for a special in-store fashion show event where all new dresses from the Disney line will be shown up in our beautiful Phoenix space. And the cool thing about that is you have the fashion show, but then right after you have the dress shopping appointment. So it's a show and an appointment all in one. And their designer reps are also in store too. So again, it's just another special opportunity to see new dresses and get a little bit more of that elevated dress shopping experience. So you can check those out at our website. It's just beckersbridal.com. And then, like I said earlier, follow along at any of our social medias. It's just at Becker's Bridal. And we'll share all of the information about trunk shows, fashion shows, special events, all sorts of stuff there.
This has been so much fun. And of course, if you're listening, if you have any questions in regard to this podcast episode, let either of us know. If you have any special topics that you want to hear about in future episodes, let me know. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. I have had so much fun talking with you, Cayla. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Likewise.
Thank you so much for listening. I hope this episode has allowed you to approach the world with greater confidence in your own personal style. If you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out through email or inquiry form on the website. I hope you are all ready to go and get dressed up. I look forward to sharing more dressing up tips with you in future episodes. See you there.